Today, as you notice, we have Latari Sunday. And it's an absolute irony that this would be the first Sunday that we have a private Mass for Sunday Mass. This Sunday is about rejoicing and about helping us get through the rest of Lent. What a great Lent we're having this year. And so today I'm going to share with you a story. It's a parable that I was told as a child. And the parable actually comes more alive living up here in North Dakota. There was one day that the north wind, that wind that comes from the north that's so cold, had a discussion with the sun and told the sun, let's do a game. I bet you I can make that man take off his coat. I can do it and you can't, is what the north wind said. So there was a man walking, had a big coat, and the sun said, okay, I'll take you up on it. So the north wind blew and blew as hard as it could, this cold wind upon the man. And the harder the wind blew, the more the man held on to his coat. And after a while, the wind gave up and said, okay, I can't do it. I'm sure you can't, but go ahead. The sun smiled and looked down on the man, and the smile of the sun just grew and grew, and he released this nice warmth. And the man himself smiled and slowly took off his coat. And it's a beautiful little parable about how God works. God works positively by showering us with warmth, with love, with family, with light, with truth, where the evil one tries to force things on us. Today, we have a new name for Christ that we're examining. It's Jesus as the light of the world. And in our readings, we have a number of comparisons that we do with Jesus. In our first reading, we have the prophet Samuel going to anoint a new king. It goes to the sons of Jesse, and Jesse has 8 sons, but only 7 are there. Of course, the one son that's not there, little David taking care of the sheep, the ones that nobody thinks could possibly be the next king, is the one that is chosen. But what's funny about this story is that over and over, Samuel is sure this is the perfect kid. Each of those first 7 look perfect. And yet, God tells Samuel, I see the heart. I see what you don't see. And it is David that is chosen. In our responsorial psalm, we learn why David was chosen. The responsorial psalm today is the psalm of the Good Shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want. Keep in mind, David parallels Jesus. Jesus was an insignificant carpenter for most of his life. People couldn't believe that he could be the Messiah. David was the little kid taking care of the sheep. David was chosen because he was a shepherd. A shepherd is a servant of the sheep that he takes care of. David was even a servant of his other 7 brothers. Jesus, as a carpenter and as a shepherd, is a servant to all his customers and is a servant to all of us now in his new role, his true role as Savior. In our second reading, we're introduced to the main comparison, to the main theme. We were once in darkness, but now we have the light of the Lord. When someone sees like we see, there's always 2 factors. The first is that the room has light in it. If you're walking around in a really dark room, it doesn't matter if you can see or not. So first, there has to be light in the room. And second, your eyes have to work. You have to have working eyes. Today, in our readings, God is telling us that he is sending light to us, that he's providing half of that equation through Jesus Christ. If we're listening to Jesus, the light of the world, we have the light turned on in the room. And we just have to ask the question, are our eyes open? Are we listening? In our gospel today, Jesus first tells everyone that he's the light of the world, and then he tells us, do not judge. In Jesus' time, there was this belief that when someone was born blind, that when someone was born in any kind of ailment, that either the parents or that person are being punished as sinners. Jesus tells them, do not judge. We just simply don't know. But at the same time, it's between God and that person. That there's people born in problems, and it's not their fault. Jesus goes on to cure this man that was born blind. And how does he do it? He makes clay. The first man, Adam, was made from clay. For someone born blind to be cured, it's not just a curing of the eye, it's a curing of the brain. The brain has never been made to accept those signals from the eye. You could even say that the eye was remade by Jesus. And so we see Jesus not just remaking this man, but remaking us, that we can truly see the truth, that we can truly see God's blessings in our lives. But then the whole gospel takes a different turn. The Pharisees will not believe in Jesus, will not accept any rational argument that Jesus could be a prophet or the Messiah. And we start to see that the man born blind was always able to see, and the Pharisees, who could always see, are really the blind ones. And Jesus tells us in his own way that it's possible for us with all these blessings of sight, maybe we can walk, maybe we've got a car, all these blessings in our lives, we too might be blind. And the key to seeing is listening to Jesus, hearing his message, knowing how to get to heaven, knowing that we're not made for this earth, and letting truth be our light to help each other, to stay focused on God, and to truly love God with all of our heart. Every Mass, Jesus brings this truth and this light to us. And I'm thankful that through this video, you too can be a part of this homily in this Mass today. Like that sun in that first parable, God warms us up. And God helps us positively with truth, with love, and with family. But also, like in the parable, the devil tries to force separation in our lives, especially from God. But just like that parable, it's up to us to hold on to God. The harder the cold wind blows, to hold on to our coat that keeps us warm, to not let it go flying off. And so I encourage everybody during this time that no matter how much separation it seems you have from the church, being able to come to Sunday Mass, to still watch it on EWTN, to still, if you've got Facebook, to watch our bishop on YouTube and my homilies, to stay and hold on to God as closely as you can, the harder things might get. I'm very positive, and I think things will be getting better soon. But just know God is the essential thing in our lives. And the more we lose God, the more we lose hope, the more we panic. Hold on to God. Use these online resources. Use EWTN and everything at your disposal. Pray with your family. God has this great way of changing our problems into opportunities. And so this is the time to pray with your family, to sit and get to know your family better than you've ever known them before, and come out of this stronger and holier people. And so, my brothers and sisters, we praise Jesus as the light of the world today. May he shine his light upon you, upon all of us during these times, and help us be holier and better people for it. God love you.